Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice came out. And this is probably not the first review you're watching or read or something like that. And there's a lot of negativity following this movie. So I read reviews and stuff like that days before seeing it, and at the time it had a 34% on Rotten Tomatoes, which scared the crap out of me. Like, any Batman fan knows The Dark Knight Returns is kind of the holy grail of Batman comic books, and is one of the like best comic books out there for the DC universe, specifically telling the Batman story and his confrontation with Superman. And this movie takes a lot from that, but it's also the sequel of Man of Steel. And I say that because Man of Steel, I did enjoy it, but it's a flawed movie. And this is pretty much perfection, and that is like almost a summary of this movie. It's a flawed movie with fantastic parts in it, but it's also a 2 hours and 31 minutes long, and sometimes there's a scene that will completely blow you away that literally is just like, wow, that is absolutely amazing, that looks great, and then you're just like, what the hell's going on? So let's talk about the pros. Biggest pro, strangely enough, is Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck killed it as Batman. He did Bruce and Batman so damn well. Probably one of the best depictions, live action wise at least, of Bruce Wayne and Batman. You felt the intimidation. There's a scene early on in the movie where Batman is just straight up scary. He seems like a demonic creature. He's the devil incarnated. And that's what he is to criminals. That's what he should be to criminals. And in the beginning, I was like, wow, they're doing it right. Like, I don't get why, there's so much negativity. Superman, on the other hand, you don't see the type of Superman that you necessarily want to see if you're a Superman fan, but I really didn't have an issue with the Superman version that they're going with, because after the events of Man of Steel, in the political climate that we're in right now, or in the modern society that we're in right now, no matter what you do, neither it be good or bad, there's always consequences to it. And so they go with that journey with Superman, and it's literally, you feel bad for the guy. It's this feeling where, yes, he might be a Kryptonian super being god type creature from another planet. He's still just a dude. He's just a farmer from Kansas, a boy from Kansas, and you feel this thing where like he's just trying to do the right thing, and he's getting so much hate for it, and you feel bad for him. That's the first two positive things, and the last positive thing, which I actually enjoyed even more, and I completely wasn't expecting it, because there's two things that me most of you guys, and me included, were kind of hating on in the beginning. One was Ben Affleck as Batman, where, Batman being this borderline religious symbol to a lot of DC fans and comic book fans, because he's the Batman. I was like, I don't know if Ben Affleck will be able to pull this off. He did, in my opinion. The other one was Gal Gadot. Having this skinny, model-looking chick playing the strong, powerful Amazonian, like, no, it's not gonna, oh my god, she was perfect. She was so good. I was completely shocked how much I liked her depiction of Wonder Woman. She was intimidating. She was intimidating yet sexy at the same time. It was a perfect balance. I absolutely loved every second when she was on the screen, and I liked her and Bruce's interactions earlier on in the movie. Now let's get to the negatives. Lex Luthor Jr. Why? Why? Him being in this movie made no sense to me. Or at least this depiction of Lex Luthor. They could have why couldn't they just simply have gone with Michael Rosenbaum? I think that's his name, or I'm probably butchering it. But the guy, the bald dude from Smallville, who did one of the best versions of Lex Luthor out there, period. And it wasn't necessarily that close to canon, but he did such a great job. Jesse Eisenberg didn't play Lex Luthor in this. What he played was Mark Zuckerberg against Superman. And it made no sense to me. it like, oh yeah, he's a scary dude and he has all these like weird little things and nicks and ticks and shit that he does. No. It didn't make sense. Literally, the first time I saw it, I was like, this is really cringeworthy. You're really taking me out of the movie. The movie was going this dark tone, which I understood because that's a lot of times that's what DC or Warner Brothers thinks all comic books movies need to go, and that's not necessarily true. But if you're gonna go with a theme, go with the theme. Stick to it. And then you have this goofy character that just seems so out of place, and his motivations, there was almost a lack of them. It was just like, oh, it's because of my dad, and just because of... No, it didn't make any sense. Lex Luthor is the biggest issue in this movie. There are other issues, which is editing, that's for sure. And to defend on that point, we have to go back to the movie Watchmen. The theater cut of Watchmen got a lot of hate. And even when I watched it, I liked it, but I didn't necessarily love it. And then I saw the director's cut, and it was a lot better. There's a director's cut of this movie that's coming out, and it's 3 hours long. They cut out 30 minutes, and I'm assuming that's why a lot of times you don't understand the motivations for a lot of characters. Because one of the things that I didn't necessarily understand was one of Batman's biggest rules is no guns. Every Batman fan knows this. He doesn't use guns, and he doesn't kill. He's Bat Punisher in this. That's really what it is. He's pretty much the Punisher as Batman, and thank God, and Daredevil Season 2 just recently came out because I'm pro Punisher, and that's probably why I wasn't necessarily too upset by it, but at the same time, if you're trying to stay loyal to the character, either give us good motivation why he went from not using guns to being way more violent to an extreme that makes him seem like another superhero character that's not even part of the same universe, but he didn't feel like Batman at times. He felt like this criminal that was out of control, and it didn't seem right for Batman. Another character that just seemed slightly out of place, and it's because her storyline was interwoven with Lex's, was Lois Lane. I like Amy Adams, she's a great actress, but there were times in this movie where there were scenes that I was like, why wasn't this cut? I had already think, why wasn't this cut? There's a lot of stuff wrong, and it comes back to Lex Luthor for me that could have helped the movie. Not necessarily fix the movie. Because this movie is not great. I'll be honest with you, it's not. It's not garbage like Rotten Tomatoes wants you to believe and a lot of critics want you to believe. No, it's not. Sometimes movies are just okay, and that's what it is. Really, this movie is a mediocre movie with amazing parts in it, and a lot of the amazing parts are Batman. One of the biggest issues with this movie is that for whatever reason, like, I felt like other people didn't rewatch the movie before doing the final cut. It's lazy editing. Like, dude, I'm a no-name YouTuber, and my editing skills were on par with that movie. It made no sense. Like, this movie is worth $400 million. That's an expensive ass movie. This movie should have been a lot better. I think what happened is because it was so expensive, there was too many hands in the kitchen. There's too many people in the kitchen, and they messed it up. And that's kind of what happened with this movie. It's the same concept as like cooking. If you cook on high heat, you're gonna burn everything on the outside, cook everything on the outside, and the inside is still gonna be cold and gross. And that's a good summary for this movie. Should you watch it? Yes, depending on who you are. If you're a comic book fan like I am, and you're a huge Batman fan, or a huge Superman fan, or just in love with the genre, you're gonna like this. If you're not, it's up in the air. Even if you're a comic book fan, you might not necessarily like it because of the direction it tries to go, and it's sloppy at times. At certain times in the movie, it was perfect. And that's why I give the movie a B-, because of the wasted potential. It definitely doesn't deserve anything higher, and I think I might be being generous with this grade, honestly. But it did a lot of things right. And it's a step in the right direction going from Man of Steel to this, I enjoyed Man of Steel, but Man of Steel also had a lot of flaws. And if you didn't like Man of Steel, you're not going to like this movie, unfortunately. And I know there's people out there who didn't like Man of Steel and calling him Hobo Superman, which is hilarious to me because it's pretty accurate. You have DC's brightest character in a dark, dark movie. And it makes sense because it's a Batman movie, but I expected more from you guys. I expected a lot more. And I'm disappointed, honestly. I'm going to go watch the movie again because of the scenes that I did enjoy. There's one Batman scene that is worth the ticket alone. I can say that. But I shouldn't have to justify a movie to myself, and that's what I'm doing. And that's what a lot of people are doing to themselves. It could have been better, and it should have been better. Hey, if you enjoyed my review, don't forget to subscribe, comment, and like this video. Have a good day, guys. Honestly, Jesse Eisenberg shouldn't have been within 100 miles of this movie. He needs to get